What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this, a very special edition of the Little Kings IRL version. I can touch you. I'm Ryan, aka Penguin Monster.
And I'm Ryan, aka No Mercy Merc. On this week's podcast, we cover Stadia and the next generation consoles, development of games and what makes them last, Mix It Up now coming to Twitch and other live streaming chatbots, and general updates on Valorant.
Let's do it! So what's going on, man?
Dude, I'm so happy to be here with you.
In real life.
IRL.
Look at...
Oh my God.
I just touched you.
The touch.
It's crazy.
The Ryan's touch, they connect.
So it's been great seeing you the past few days.
Seriously. And we got 2 days to go still.
Yeah. We're in the beautiful state of North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
In Asheville.
Oh yeah.
As you can probably see behind us, a beautiful day.
Yeah.
We decided to spend it inside.
We did.
But,
For the time being. The time being.
Yeah. I mean, we did do an 8-mile hike yesterday.
Yeah, that was intense.
Yes.
That was intense.
Yes.
My pace was very different than yours.
Well, yeah, but that's okay.
You had a dog helping you set the pace.
That's true.
I didn't know.
She was pulling me along.
Yeah.
I was kind of just in it for the ride.
Yep.
So, but it was good to get out in nature for sure.
Yeah.
The quarantine we've been kind of. Oh, can I not say quarantine?
No, you can say quarantine.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Quarantine's
all right,
fair.
fine. Just not the other term.
And then I had my first feeling normal in quarantine at the restaurant we went to.
True.
It literally once you sat down at the table, it felt normal.
Yeah, they did an amazing job there of social distancing.
They did,
which was great.
And everyone seemed to follow the rules,
which is very rare.
Yes. Yeah.
It felt good.
Do we talk about Walmart afterwards?
Sure.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, we went from a restaurant who followed definite social distancing guidelines. Everybody had to wear a mask to go in there. The servers all had gloves on, all had masks. It was great. Walk into Walmart. It does say on the outside, to be fair, everybody must wear a mask. They even have a person at the door who seemed to be checking that.
Yeah.
But then you got inside, no masks to be found.
No.
We were kind of waiting out the checkout line. There was people just coming as close as possible.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a whole other world.
And I mean, even employees, mask under the nose, not actually covering the nose.
True.
It's half-assed wearing.
Yeah.
They
it's
try.
not even like wearing a mask at that point.
No.
So,
no.
But yeah. So we're a bit out of video game news, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, we're staying at a house with no internet.
Right.
We're so disconnected.
Yeah. Which is kind of nice.
Super nice.
But in terms of the latest and greatest podcast or gaming news for this podcast, probably won't have it. Although I did see today, I just happened to see a tweet from Cellular Connection that there's Stadia Connect.
Yeah, Stadia.
Yeah,
It hasn't been in the news for a while now.
Right.
I feel like it got released, flew under the radar for a little bit.
There was some hype before it actually got released.
Yeah. And then it was a couple months after Stadia actually came out, there was GeForce Now experience. Have you heard about this?
No. So can you explain?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Why don't you just explain Stadia in general to me?
Okay.
Because I know some of it, but you got one, and I just want to hear it from you.
Okay. So it's tough to explain because you use the same word, video game streaming. So there's two ways of thinking about video.
This is not live streaming.
This isn't live streaming. This is literally the video game is being played on a server elsewhere, and they are streaming all the pixels to your screen.
Like as if you were to watch Netflix, but you're playing a game.
Exactly.
Right.
Imagine Netflix, but your input is everything you see. So not only is there there's an input on your end that has to send across the server, that has to depict what pixels to send back because of that input.
Right. So I guess I just instantly think of lag.
Yeah, exactly. Input lag is going to be your number one biggest problem.
Right.
And so initially when Stadia came out, it's they had made these crazy claims that for 4K 60 frames per second, you only need a 35 megabit per second internet download.
How is that even possible?
It doesn't make sense.
It wasn't.
So I'm fortunate enough to have like good internet. Like I have 400 megabits per second and a Google Home Nest system. So
That's
like
okay.
Google Stadia, Google Nest, they interact perfectly with each other. Like it actually provides the Stadia more internet because it knows.
Oh, like they actually have something built into their device that it works together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Its software knows that a Stadia is connected to the Wi-Fi system.
Oh.
And so it actually gives it a boosted internet
Oh,
to perform better. So that's
cool.
why I actually got the Nest, but I never play my Stadia. But it doesn't help that I bought my PC very close to the time that like Stadia was coming out.
But aren't they going for an experience that's like PC or like any other gaming platform?
Yeah, they totally are, and without all the complexity of upkeeping a PC. And and they're claiming that like
so is it just in the browser?
So it can be done in a browser.
Okay.
It's mostly browser driven if you're playing on a PC or laptop.
Okay.
But then you can play through Chromecast. So you plug a Chromecast into your TV, and it literally runs off a little like 2-inch circular.
See, the concept is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, but the practical in real life application,
right?
Was it? So tell me, like, was there input lag? Like,
it was very minimal.
Really?
Surprisingly.
Okay.
Yeah. So you definitely see screen tearing, stuttering of the actual game.
Yeah.
But the input lag actually feels surprisingly good.
Okay.
Like it is very comparable to a console.
Huh.
Like PS4. Like it is.
Because that definitely has a little bit more of input lag than PC.
Compared to PC, yeah.
Right.
And I thought it was exceptional for what it was. But
so why did you never play it again?
So my use is I have a PC.
Okay.
Like it's better than PC gaming. Like I'm not gonna
PC gaming is better than
yeah. PC gaming is better than Stadia.
Right.
But it's because I'm not gonna log on to my $2,000 PC, open up a Chrome browser and play Stadia. It's like I'm just gonna go ahead and download the game and play it on my PC.
Right. So target audience might be folks who don't have a gaming console or PC.
Exactly. So like next gen, we're talking like the new Xbox Series X and the PS5. Like this is its competitor.
Just buy a Stadia instead of that.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that someone would want the full-scale games but not want to get either an Xbox, PlayStation, or PC, and so they'd go for this device? See, I'm thinking you're either like a very casual person who maybe plays games on your phone, maybe doesn't really play games, something like that. You wouldn't necessarily be interested in full-scale regular games that we know and love.
Right.
And if you do want those full-scale games, you're probably going to get one of those other platforms.
Right.
Because you're going to be wanting to play with your friends. You're going to want I guess it comes with it's with controller?
It is with a controller, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm just so like, because I've got all this history in gaming, I'm like, okay, so you've got your Xbox, like you're going to play with your friends online, do that type of thing. I guess there are single player games that I like to play, but it's like, I don't know if I'd buy a specific, I guess is there online play with Stadia?
Yeah, absolutely.
There is.
Yeah. So I think Stadia's plan is to future-proof gaming. So like they claim that, X amount of years, months down the road, it's like they're going to update their servers to the latest and greatest.
Oh, so you wouldn't have to buy new hardware ever?
No, never.
I guess you'd probably have to buy a new Chromecast at some point or a new controller.
But
that's minimal compared to...
Exactly.
Okay. So, but what's the payment model?
So the payment model is $10 a month. And they have a free model as well. So there's Stadia Basic and Stadia Pro. Stadia Basic is like you can buy all your own games and you can play at 1080p, 60 frames per second.
Okay.
So they cap the audio, like you don't get 5.1 stereo surround sound, stuff like that.
Sure.
For free. So like you could get Stadia Basic.
And what, you just pay like $60 for a game type thing?
Yeah, they're standard.
Okay.
They're standard prices.
Right.
There are no discounts because it is streaming, but you still technically own the game. Kind of. It's sketchy. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's Stadia Basic,
right,
which anyone can do right now, I'm pretty sure. And because it was Stadia Pro, was in beta for a while.
As long as you have the controller.
As long as you have the controller.
Right.
Well, so when you're in a browser, you can play with any controller you have.
Oh.
Yeah, they do not limit you. The only requirement for the Stadia controller is to play with Chromecast. That's the only thing they require. And phone.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
so then the Pro version,
the Pro's $10 a month. You get 4K 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
And it's like Xbox Live. Like they give you games per month.
Oh, like Game Pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like included in your Stadia package. So like you get
I
would say 3 to 4 free games a month. They're not always the best, but like they're free games.
And so so I'm starting to see the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
If they fix, I still think there's such a technical limitation.
Yeah.
So I'm saying if they fix the screen tearing and that kind of stuff, but I think that's a big if.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it becoming something successful? Or do you think there's just these giants in this space? And like something we talked about before, like live streaming, right? This is now us on Twitch, right? We talk about how there's these giants right now, and it's so hard for anybody to start up.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that Google's a big company, but Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, which is kind of its own, other branch.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see Stadia actually becoming a competitor in this space?
I think so. I think what's really the big draw is the whole future-proof model, is that like they have the resources to do it, and they're the internet. Like when you think of the internet, you're like, I'm going to Google. Right. Like if you're going to search something, it's like they need the best internet, and they've worked on fiber. So yeah, I think they're future-proofing model of in the next 5 years, like where's internet going to be? Like if you think of like, let's bring up Elon Musk. Like he's working on Starlink,
right?
Which is his like
just the
satellite internet anywhere. And if you can get crazy speeds there, then like what stops you from playing Grand Theft Auto 5 on your phone online with someone else playing with a Stadia controller?
Yeah, I think the phone's a whole other kind of thing, but I get what you're saying.
But like Stadia, that was their big claim too. Like you can play on the Pixel.
I would never want to play a full scale game like that on my phone.
Think about it though. Like if you're on a road trip, or like
I could see a tablet, but I guess just the screen is so small that these full scale games that are developed for big screens, I don't see really doing that well on my phone.
Who knows?
But yeah, I guess in that future, perhaps.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I'm interested to see where Stadia goes.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's going to be quite a while until it gets to anywhere that Google wants it to be.
Yeah, for sure. And there's outside forces that are hindering their development too. So like the internet does need to advance,
right, in order
for them to be like a flawless service,
right? Yeah. So we'll see what they say at Stadia Connect, and then we'll see how PS5 and Xbox Series X, is that what it is? Yeah, do.
And then they already do have competitors, like I said before, GeForce Experience.
Oh yeah, we got to get into
GeForce Now, whatever it's called. So yeah, the NVIDIA GeForce Now is their version of live streaming, where like their model's very different, where you pay a service to use their servers, but you're not buying games through them. So you can use your pre-existing Steam games that are GeForce Now compatible. So like if you already own the game, you can play it anywhere.
So it's like remote play from any device over the internet.
Yeah, I would say remote play is a more accurate description of what they do.
Okay.
Versus what Stadia is doing, where it's like they're a one-stop shop.
Right.
But like,
so with the NVIDIA one, do you have to own the game?
Yeah.
Or do they also have their own? Because then it's not as future-proof, right? Because you're going to have to keep buying the game. I guess you don't have to buy the hardware ever.
Right.
But it's not the same as like the subscription model on the Google side, where it's like, really, I'm not ever worried about hardware changes or graphics getting old or anything like that.
Right. And so touching back on Google Stadia for a second, it's
got 3 dogs here.
Yeah, 3 dogs. 3 dogs. They're having developers develop games specifically for Google Stadia. So like they're going to be optimized for the cloud environment, and they're going to be able to do things that no one else has ever done.
Oh, and those will probably be a lot more optimized than the ones that come out that developers had no focus on it streaming over the internet or anything like that.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So that's where Stadia has its upper hand versus GeForce Now.
Okay.
In that like games will be optimized for the cloud environment. And so you're talking about like you can literally put 2 players that are playing an online game on a server that's right next to each other, so that they can
because they own the hardware as well.
Yeah. So they can have like literally the same amount of latency, ping, everything.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool concept for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll announce, because if they actually come out with a game that is whatever they call it, Stadia certified or whatever it is at this point yet.
Yeah.
Oh, they have.
Oh, well, they've come out with Stadia exclusives, but none that have really utilized the like cloud environment the way they want to.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I guess because I don't have a Stadia, but I haven't heard about any of these exclusives. Have they been decent games or not really?
No, they're not AAA like.
Right, because why would they, with such little market share, why would AAA developers waste their time right now with a Stadia exclusive?
Right, but there are huge games. So like Assassin's Creed Odyssey is on Stadia.
Right, but it's not a Stadia exclusive.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't go the quick route of like, you know what, we're just going to port this over. This is a full built game for Stadia.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a re-release for Stadia for some of these games.
Right. So the developers are kind of testing out like, can we develop a game in Stadia?
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
But can you play regular games that haven't been optimized for Stadia?
No. It has to be on the Stadia store.
So it is like if you were to have a PS5 or PS4 exclusive, and then they were going to be releasing it on PC or Xbox, they have to optimize it for that platform.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, that I guess that makes sense.
Right.
But I don't see the work going into it yet because there's not the market share.
Right.
But I guess at some point there might be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they do in Stadia Connect for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about it when that happens.
Yeah.
We'll touch on it.
We dogs are so loud.
Dogs all over the place.
You really don't realize how loud they are until you're recording something.
Yeah. It's kind of just background noise normally, I guess. But
like the click, clatter, the nails, the...
Yes. Even the size.
Yes.
The comfy size. Yeah.
Wow, I wasn't expecting to talk about like Stadia that much. That was wow.
Yeah,
it
probably doesn't deserve that much time.
It probably doesn't. It hasn't deserved it.
Yeah,
but it's interesting technology.
Yeah,
for sure.
So do you care at all about? Probably not because we've been on PC so often, but about PS5 or Xbox Series X?
No.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I care about is a lot of the times when there are these big console refreshes. Huge games may come out with the releases of those.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the times they do go over to PC, so it's nice to have them on PC as well. But I feel like studios definitely in development will take the new hardware and they'll kind of try to do the latest and greatest with that. Mm-hmm. And so you'll see that on the PC side as well.
That's true. So, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But so do you have any anticipated like big releases for the new console?
I don't think I've heard of many.
I mean, we know a new Halo's coming. Like, a new Halo has to come out with the new Xbox.
And I hope it comes to PC, and I would think it would.
Right.
Because they've done the Master Chief Collection, and they've been slowly releasing the old ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Halo 3, like, just came out for the Master Chief Collection, which that was my favorite. So I'm probably going to start diving into that.
Yeah. I would play some Halo 3 multiplayer on PC.
We used to play Halo on stream.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
when it first came out.
Reach? I think it was Reach.
Was it Reach? Was that the? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think they did it in order of like the Halo universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, not releases.
Which was interesting because you would think that maybe they might go reverse order if one's easier to port over to PC than the other or whatnot.
Yeah.
But
I'm just glad they didn't do like Star Wars order where it's just all out of whack.
Yeah. Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, good on that, Microsoft. Yeah, definitely going to be a Halo. Oh, it's Halo Infinite. I think they already called it.
Yeah.
But it's 6.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. 6.
Yeah. So hopefully it gets, I feel like 4 and 5 were okay games, but they're not the revolutionary games that 1, 2, and 3 were.
Yeah.
Or even Reach. I think Reach was even better than 4 or 5.
It's funny because I was talking to someone about this, that like games are trying too hard now. That like, and like, I'd say our generation's like the nostalgic generation.
Mm-hmm.
That like we want to play the games that we played as children.
For sure.
We want to watch the shows we watched as children. And so like they just need to go back to the roots.
Yeah.
Of like,
well, I guess maybe kind of dive into that for what do you mean they try too hard?
Like they're trying to add too many different aspects to the game that may not need to be there. So like for Halo 5, it's like, why do we need jetpacks? Why does that need to be in multiplayer? Like let's just like it just needed jumping and shooting. Like that's crouching, jumping, shooting. That. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I always think of that as like the Samsung method because they would come out with their Galaxy phones and you would have like every possible technology for a phone within there. And it was like, so now it's better than the iPhone because you can do anything. And it's like, well, the iPhone can't do, like, it didn't have an IR thing where you could turn on your TV.
Right.
But like the actual experience of using it as a phone really competed pretty well with it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of quantity versus quality type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I get that. There's a lot of games that if they just optimize the core thing that they're about versus trying to make it, maybe it's just trying to make it as appealing to as many people as possible that the issue is.
Maybe. I don't know what it is, but it's like
yeah.
The more sequels that come out to a game, it's almost like they progress away from what I considered a good game to start with.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that like I'm biased because that's the first time, that was the state at which the first time I played it.
Right.
I don't know. Well, like change is a good thing, but change is also like a bad thing in my mind.
Yeah, that's fair. But I also just wonder how much of that is a problem with sequels in general. Like movie sequels, I feel like have the same issue as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if there's any movie sequels besides like the second one in a series that I'm like, oh wow, that was really better than the first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then with games, it's definitely different because movies have to be completely new content. But games, you're almost saying you want the core of whatever made the first one good to come across.
Like I almost want like a game that I love to take the Warframe model. Do you know the Warframe model?
I don't know if
they've literally never released and will never release a Warframe 2. But they just
I understand.
Tack onto it. Like,
yeah.
But the first time you boot it up, like it's the same game that you started 3 years ago.
Right. Well, I feel like there's
like,
quite a few games that have been like that. Like CSGO, I think, is kind of like that.
That's true. Point. Yeah. I like that kind of model of like you keep the roots in place, but you can tack stuff on the end. I'm good at like continuing.
But at the same time, like our last podcast, right? We talked about Rocket League.
Right. Yeah.
And we talk about it dying because they haven't done much new.
Right.
So that's kind of the opposite of what you were saying.
That's just such a tough game though, because you can't add to the storyline. There's no storyline to add on to. Yeah. There's no like.
Well, the beauty of Rocket League was its simplicity,
right?
But I think that's also its kiss of death in terms of longevity.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, oh, you're gonna add these 10 limited edition, customizable whatevers. Like, what are they called?
Cars?
Yeah, like new cars or new stickers or whatever.
Oh, right.
Like, cool.
Yeah. Well, and then like we said, the different game modes are really not the core.
Yeah. They're trying.
And they all suck usually.
They're trying, but
yeah.
they all suck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think it also just at some point, like a game's run its course.
Yeah.
And it's just done.
Sometimes you gotta kill it.
And it'd be very hard to make a Rocket League 2, I feel like.
Yeah, there would be no point.
Yeah.
But like if you think about it, like I don't want to get too into Rocket League again. But like there are content creators.
We did play Rocket League for like 5 straight years together, so I feel
that's true. It was a big part.
It was a part of our lives.
It was a big part of our lives. So, like, there are content creators like Lethemir makes the coolest freaking maps.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody on PlayStation or Xbox can even access those maps because they don't give them access to that like place to do add-ons to the game. So it's like if you even cherry picked Lethemir's maps and like put them in the actual game
yeah,
for everyone to use, it may add a different dynamic because he's made beer pong
right
in Rocket League.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I wonder how much of that is a limitation based on the platform though.
Could be.
Right? Because it's much easier on PC to have like third-party things. Like that's why most mods are on PC and things like that.
Yeah.
So
they could just clean it up and add it to the game. There's no doubt in my mind.
That's true.
Yeah.
They could release it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Lethemir would be all about that.
Probably.
Because he cares about the integrity of the game. And he's like trying to make the best for the game. So
that's a whole other like branch of not only a game having longevity because of the specific gameplay itself and improvements on the gameplay, but the community around it and the way that they manage their community and really make the players feel like they're a part of something. And there's communication back and forth between the developers and things like that. That goes a long way. Mm-hmm. Versus here's the game, go play it. We're never going to talk to you again, which some AAA studios do.
Right.
Yeah. Which they're fun, but then I don't think they have the same staying power as some of the other games where it truly feels like there's a back and forth between the developers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you also don't want to take too much input from like your main content creators because that's not like the same viewpoint as everyone else.
Casual players.
Yeah.
True.
So there's a fine line between like relying too heavily on some core people to guide your game in a direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day making games is hard.
Oh yeah. And pleasing everyone is impossible.
Yeah.
So good balance.
Yeah.
Have to find a balance.
For sure.
Do we even know how many people are still playing Rocket League? Like I feel like the peak was like we would see
it was hundreds of thousands.
Yes,
at the
300,000 people. Like at a concurrent time when it went cross platform.
I don't think it's anywhere near that now.
Yeah.
But I also haven't been on there to check.
True. Yeah. we're part of the
problem.
Yeah, we're part of the problem. All right, so switching gears, there's when you're live streaming. Now we got just different types of streaming.
Done a few of those, yeah.
Yeah, live streams,
like Twitch.
Yeah. You have in your chat a bot. So this bot kind of like takes care of anything like it does mod abilities of like muting certain words, stuff like that. So one big thing was a huge bot used on Mixer was one called Mix It Up.
Okay.
And so a lot of people were devastated once Mixer shut down that like they had literally everything set up in this bot. So like all their commands, like so many different aspects of like Mix It Up has so many different abilities than any other bot because it can take really good song requests and actually do it in Spotify versus other song requests go through YouTube or stuff like that. So it had a really good integration with Mixer.
And there was no way to kind of like export that over to somewhere else.
No way. No.
Yeah.
So it was like Scottybot. Scottybot, which is what we used for Mixer, was like you couldn't just flip a switch and be like, no, log into my Twitch
Right.
and now do all the same things.
Right.
No. So just last week, Mix It Up actually converted everything over to actually operate on Twitch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like there were a lot of streamers in limbo for like 2-3 weeks because like, you know, they probably still had to set up everything they needed in a different bot.
Right.
But like now Mix It Up is on Twitch.
That's cool.
And there's additional bots coming out too.
We both use Nightbot.
Nightbot,
right?
yeah.
So I guess, do you know what would be an advantage of Mix It Up versus Nightbot?
So not too much. I know that Mix It Up just has a lot more like integration with other apps.
Okay.
Like it's very good at like you can connect your Spotify so that like you can make sure that it only plays like copyright free music or something like that. Where it's
Right.
like YouTube, it's like anyone can post a YouTube link and it can play something like dumb, like Charlie the Unicorn or something.
Gotcha.
Like it doesn't have to be music.
Like overlaid onto your stream type of thing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And so yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about Mix It Up actually.
Maybe we should check it out.
We should probably check it out.
Yeah.
And we should talk more about it because I really don't know too much about it, but just that a lot of the large Mixer people were really sad to lose.
And I'm sure they're happy now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how many actually like set up a different bot and if they've actually just made the switch.
Do you
once
think
Mix It
they'll
Up
go
came out.
back now?
I would think so.
Yeah.
It seems like everything everyone said about it is that it has better features. to
Right.
it.
Yeah, I guess with Nightbot, the only thing I really do is like the exclamation point commands.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have some timers set up so that it's like,
follow
if you're
age
liking
or-
the stream, follow.
Oh yeah. The auto messages. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are nice. Bots could definitely come a much further away though. Like they could.
Where do you think?
They could advance so much. Just like I don't even like. They just have so much potential.
Like
Like
what?
just being in your chat. I don't even like.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
Well, I know you can do like we haven't really done much of this, but I think you can do like games and stuff with your chat.
Yeah.
You can do like giveaways and things like that, and I think they can handle all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because we literally use it for the bare minimum right now.
Right.
And we do not take advantage of them as much as we probably should.
Yeah, I guess I just haven't researched like the possibilities, but it could help a lot, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to be able to do, you know, here's our social links or things like that. But other than that, I'm not like, oh, this is an awesome bot. I like that I have it on stream. And it doesn't seem, even like when we were on Mixer, ScottyBot would tell you as people entered or left the chat.
Yeah.
Nightbot doesn't do that, or at least I haven't figured out how to make it do that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a Twitch limitation.
It could be.
It could be that.
Well,
or...
I have noticed on Twitch though, if you have like your stream manager open, and then in the chat window, you can say view who's in chat.
Oh.
And it'll show you the viewers that are in there, even if they're not talking.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So even like I was watching you one time and I went to the mod view.
Yeah.
And it'll show you like, here are the active users that are watching you. So anybody that's logged into a Twitch account, it'll show you these are the people hanging out, even if they haven't chatted in.
Huh. Does it show anonymous people too? So people who may not have Twitch accounts that are watching?
No.
No.
I think it would basically just be you take the difference between the amount of people that show there and then the number of viewers that you have, and that would be anonymous. But do anonymous viewers count as a viewer on Twitch?
I think so.
They do. Okay.
I think so. I don't know why you wouldn't have a Twitch account, but if you're actively watching Twitch.
Well, I'm trying to think, because like, wouldn't that be a little more vulnerable for like view boosting? Because you could
That's
just
a
have
good point.
10 different devices that are not logged into Twitch just viewing your own stream.
That's a good point. And Twitch actually, before they made updates after Mixer took some people,
right?
It wasn't account limited either. It was literally whoever was viewing the screen. So like if you were logged into the same account on 3 devices and you were playing the stream on all 3 devices, it would count as 3 views.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Now they're smart enough that like you would literally need 3 separate accounts.
Right.
And they could go as far as doing like IP addresses or something to like even limit boosting even more.
So I feel like if they're getting to that level of if you have the same account, you can't have 3 different devices, wouldn't they not count anonymous views?
Maybe. This is something we'll have to take away from this.
Yeah. We'll do some research, do some homework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think so. Now that you bring it up, I would think it wouldn't count as a view.
Right.
That's too bad. It's too bad for the people who like are actually watching someone but don't want an account on Twitch.
Right. But you can't chat in if you are just watching, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So I feel like anybody who's really disappointed in that would just make an account.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's free.
Yeah. It doesn't cost anything.
Mm.
Just some information. They'll sell your data, but that's okay.
Yeah. You know. Whatever.
Like any other major tech company.
Whatever.
Amazon runs the world in general anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to look more into bots for sure.
Yeah.
So I did, I don't know if we're done talking about bots, but I did want to ask you your latest thoughts on the Valorant skins. Because you said you had some new thoughts. We have not yet bought the Ultimate Pack, the Dragons.
Mainly because I haven't been home.
Right. So I did open up the store. I could have bought them.
Oh.
But then I saw I had 10 or 11 days, so I would be back from vacation.
Got it.
And I could kind of mull it over.
Got it.
And I'm leaning towards not buying them.
Really? Not even like a single one?
I might buy the Vandal.
Okay. I think I might buy the Judge.
That was serious?
Yes. Just because it looks like just a large penis.
It really does. Like with a hefty set of balls.
Yeah, and it's like it's a single sack. Like it's 2 balls merged together into one.
There's a fusion of there.
And I think it's nice looking.
So that's the only one you'll buy?
Maybe. I have to mull it over. I really need to think about it. Cuz like I don't want I think the knife is lame. The knife is $40 or something.
The knife is lame.
And so it's like I don't know.
It's like maybe the op would be cool.
The op kind of does look cool.
Also, I looked a little more into them. The skin variants that they have, there are like colors and things. Have you seen those?
No.
Some of them look pretty badass.
Okay, and that's where you use the Radianite points to kind of
Yeah, so they get even more. They look even cooler than just the generic dragons at certain points. Like there's kind of a purplish black one that for like the op when you're Omen would be really cool. Yeah, it gets cool.
I was kind of disappointed that the reload animation wasn't default. Like you still need to unlock
with Radianite.
The Radianite, yeah. That's kind of sad, but
I have a bunch of Radianite points just kind of stacked up, but I don't think I have enough to do it for like all the skins.
Right now. And I think that like there was a lot of fire over that for like you're buying $100 worth of skins.
Yeah, you're buying $100 worth.
Yeah, and then there's literally aspects within the gun that you can't even lock like for free.
Well, but Radianite you get while playing.
Right, but not always. That's just from the battle pass.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's just battle pass unlocks.
You're positive on that?
Yeah.
Oh, that is kind of messed up.
So it's like everything's hidden behind a paywall. So it's like...
Yeah, that is kind of messed up.
You would literally need to buy the $100 pack and then spend $30 on Radianite points to actually get the effects for all the guns in
Yeah.
So it's
of course, in the end, this is all just appearance stuff, right? So it's not... There's no pay to win type of thing. So that's okay. That's good. But yeah, very expensive to get some cool looking skins with animations.
Yeah. And I think what they could do to bring prices down is I think they could sell 2 bundles. A bundle without effects and the bundle full effects. That way you don't have to split up the Radianite purchase and the Valorant point purchase or whatever. And that way it could bring the price down of the non-effect bundle.
Right.
Because like, if you're already spending X amount, it's like tack on all the effects for a little bit more money. It's like they would sell probably more of both,
Right.
because like they're under fire for their prices too.
It is really insane to me how much they are, but people are buying them.
Yeah.
So why would they bring their price down? I mean, you're the actuary, right? Like, there's kind of if they cut the price in half,
will they sell twice as much?
right?
Yeah,
Probably not,
probably not.
but I don't know.
Yeah, we call it a break-even point.
Yeah.
Of like where's the perfect amount of supply and demand that'll get you the optimal amount. And yeah, I don't know.
Like, to me, like the uneducated person who's just thinking of like how much things should cost, I feel like it should be maybe $25 for a pack, and then $5 to $10 for a gun and knife. Because usually games are $60. Right. Now, I get this is a free to play game, so that's nice. You can get all the gaming content you want for free. But for a pack of skins to be almost double the cost of a normal game, seems a little bit nuts to me.
Yeah.
But I just want them so damn bad. The dragons look so cool.
They did a great job. They did a really good job.
I even tweeted out an article about how much they tested not just the actual balance. So like, actual balance doesn't change as long as reload time is the same, recoil is the same, that kind of stuff. But they also had to adjust feel. So like, they had the animation where it kind of comes into frame, like it kind of crawls into frame before you're holding the gun itself. They said even though it was the same amount of time to pull out a gun, the movement of the animation seemed like at first that it was slower than pulling out the normal skin of the gun. Even though it was the same overall time, the way they did the movement, people when they were play testing it said, oh, it seems like this is taking longer. Is this different than the actual gun? They said no. So they had to, even just for feel of balance, they had to change things around. And it was just interesting to me that was like such a huge thing. And it's cool that they're looking at that.
Yeah.
Because even though it's the exact same total time, it really doesn't affect gameplay at all. Feel is a big thing.
Yeah.
And I think less people would want to use those skins if they felt like, oh, it's taking me longer to pull out this gun. Because of course, who wants that in the actual game?
Right.
Yeah, it was an interesting article. There really was a lot that went into this ultimate pack because it changed the shape of the gun a lot more than anything else had. Before, it had been true skins where it might be different designs. But this is now the shape of the guns have changed, the animations themselves have changed, all that kind of stuff. And that's why it's an ultimate pack.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate why that's more money than a regular one. But maybe this one should have been 35 instead of 25.
Yeah. Right.
Versus 175.
Yeah. I think I was reading that same article as you, and that they were very focused on making sure that the gun looked like the gun on the ground too.
Oh, right.
That
right.
like, you want to be able to distinguish a phantom and a vandal when they're on the ground, because you want to pick up whichever one you like more for that circumstance correctly.
Yeah, and I guess to kind of like explain, that's a big thing in Valorant is if so economy is a huge thing in Valorant. That you get a certain amount per round that you can spend for guns. And you want to make sure you have enough for the next rounds. And so if you buy a lower class gun that costs less money, if at the end of the round somebody has died that has a better gun than you, there's a few extra seconds after the end of the round where you can go and pick up their gun. So it's a big thing in that if you have the operator, which is the sniper in the game, if that's down on the ground, that's the most expensive gun. You want to be able to go and pick that up, and you want to be able to see it really quickly. So if it's got a different skin and it just looks nuts and you're not really sure what it is, that can be game breaking.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. So I wonder, because it really does look pretty different, but I guess the outlines in general look the same.
Yeah, because I think what they were specifically pointing out was like the Frenzy as one of them, which is one of the lower econ guns you can buy.
Right, it's like a little machine pistol.
And that like they were saying that iterations through it, it did look more like a pistol than a submachine gun. And so they actually worked on extending body and handle to make it look like the outline correctly on the crown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's like stuff I wouldn't even think about when it comes to just making skins.
Yeah.
But I guess they really did. They kind of did it to themselves with changing shape.
Mm-hmm.
If it had just been design, they've done that before. That wouldn't matter. But it's the shape that really matters, and that's, I guess, why it's an ultimate pack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, buddy, it was great to see you in person. It's been a lot of fun. We got to wrap it up, though, I think.
Okay.
We'll want to go actually do fun things in real life outside in this beautiful weather.
It does look great out there.
Yeah. Maybe take another trip to Walmart. Just increase our risk. But yeah, thank you all for joining us once again. I'm Ryan.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Penguin Monster.
I'm No Mercy Merc.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys.